You won't believe the amount of money the Harris campaign is spending compared to the Trump campaign, and then we're going to look at some polling, and as much as many of us put some salt on the polling, I'm actually surprised at what Donald Trump was just able to pull off, especially in a certain area. Harris is just dominating in campaign spending. Let's first, though, look at some of these campaign spending numbers. These are just out by Bloomberg. What they do is they basically analyze ad spend, TV ad spend, mail ad spend, reservations for future ad spend. It's really insightful. Listen to some of these numbers. And keep in mind, when you run a political campaign, like I did when I ran for governor in 2021, to try to beat that Newsom guy. Anyway, don't worry about that. I didn't win. But anyway, you have to report your campaign spending regularly. I mean, these are fully audited and pretty dang transparent. So it's kind of useful to see some of these numbers. But take a look at this. The Harris campaign is spending $5 million per day more than the Trump campaign. So Trump is spending about $2.6 million per day right now, and Harris is sitting at about $7.5. Now, some of that could be because the Harris campaign is so much shorter than the Trump campaign, which has been going on for obviously well over a year now. Well, quite frankly, some say it never ended after the 2020 election. But anyway, Trump did spend more than he raised in August by about $32 million. And I think they kind of say that as a way to say, look, Trump is mismanaging. Trump, again, is a war chest. And generally what you do with an election is you try to spend everything right before the election. So it kind of makes sense that you're going to spend more of the money that you raised earlier now. Harris spent $152 million on advertising in September, and Donald Trump spent $63 million. That's per ad impact. And Harris has about $404 million left in the bank in September versus the roughly $300 for Trump. So she's got about a 33% lead over Trump in money left in the bank right now. And this is the crazy part on where she's spending the money. Between now and Election Day, which is not far away, we're less than 45 days away here, Harris plans to spend in the following battleground states: 73% more than Trump in Arizona, 39% more in Georgia than Trump, 50.4% more in Michigan than Trump, 204% more than Trump in Nevada, 69% more in North Carolina, 150% more in Pennsylvania, it's actually 151, and 27% more in Wisconsin. These are all critical battleground states. But here's the crazy thing. Despite this extra spending planned, in addition to what's already been happening, based on a New York Times Siena College poll out just this morning, Donald Trump actually has a 5-point lead in Arizona, critical battleground state, 4-point lead in Georgia, and 3-point lead in North Carolina. Now, those are just based on that latest New York Times Siena survey. Keep in mind that other polling has been less favorable to Donald Trump. A lot of folks say that, a lot of the polling isn't reflective of the sort of quote-unquote sugar high, if you will, that might come with a new campaign or a new election. Essentially a new campaign, right? You have a new candidate. But what's worth noting is if we look at the Real Clear Politics averages, take a look at this. You definitely have a lead right now for Harris of about 2.2 percentage points. But you have to be really careful here, because this is the kind of stuff that happened with Hillary, where Hillary Clinton had this insurmountable lead against Trump, and then Trump smokes her because Democrats end up getting complacent and they don't end up getting out to vote. Now, you've also not only got this average Real Clear Politics indicator here that suggests Harris is in the lead, but if you look at the betting markets, Predicted is just smoking Trump right now, 57 to 45. So 57 Kamala Harris, 45 Trump. Polymarket, another betting market, with a 4-point lead here for Donald Trump, a huge flip. from what happened leading up to the last debate, which, keep in mind, Donald Trump says he does not want to participate in the CNN debate just 2 weeks before, suggesting it's too late to take another debate opportunity and that Harris should have taken his invitation to debate on Fox, which she did not. Anyway, let's look at some of these other numbers because, frankly, they're pretty remarkable. The Trump campaign did outspend Democrats by about 3x on direct mailers at about $11.6 million. But Harris is absolutely spending a crazy amount of money on actual offices and campaign staff in battleground states. And what they're trying to do is they're basically playing the get out the vote campaign. So knocking on doors, spending $10.2 million on payroll. This is 4 times as much as the Trump campaign, with 2,200 staffers and over 333 offices in these battleground states, focusing on getting people registered to vote. Keep in mind, I have it here somewhere. I don't think I have it handy, but I'm in Cali. Y'all know that. I'm sure in the trash here somewhere. But I just got one of those little election cards in the mail, and they're like, make sure you're registered to vote. Because if you're registered to vote, we'll get you your ballot by October 7th, I believe it is. So it's fascinating because these mail-in ballots, they're going to start showing up pretty freaking soon. And I always think that's interesting because I feel like you should kind of wait to vote until, the last debates and all of kind of the last drama that's going to happens. But then again, if some people wait, they never end up voting. I can't find it. It must be buried under here. Then they never end up voting. And so that's why people are like, no, turn in your mail-in ballot now or whatever. I never like to mail my ballot. I personally take it and I go drop it off. But whatever. So let's see what else we have here. Trump is also outsourcing his ground efforts to the America Pact, which is the Pact created by Elon Musk. And they did spend $15.5 million on canvassing in August, and they've spent about $25.8 million since the Harris candidacy began, trying to sort of campaign against Harris. Remember, Elon is a big fan of Trump in this one. And the Harris campaign has also taken about $24.5 million of their funding and thrown it towards other Democratic candidates. And I think this is actually an acknowledgement that the Democrats are really concerned that if they have a chance of winning, they're not going to end up having control of the House and the Senate. Even really pro-left-leaning sources like The Economist suggest that, hey, Democrats have a really big uphill battle here, actually trying to sweep the Senate and the House, mostly because of the seats that are available. They're not that conducive of a Democratic victory here or a Democratic sweep. So even if we did end up with a Harris presidency, it's unlikely, at least many believe, that Democrats would end up sweeping, and that could put a hamper on a lot of Harris's plans. That is, of course, if she wins. If we end up getting another Clinton situation where people think, well, Harris is so far ahead, I don't have to vote, and Trump voters end up getting out and actually voting, then you could have a repeat of the Clinton-Trump days. Really interesting. So anyway, let me know what you think about this spending. I think it's remarkable that Harris is spending so wildly in these battleground states. And the latest poll that just came out today suggests Donald Trump ahead in at least 3 of those. And I don't think they did surveying on in the other battleground states, but we'll keep getting polling. And I suspect this race is actually just going to tighten as we get closer to Election Day rather than widen apart. So we'll see. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Goodbye and good luck. Oh, by the way, my expectation is by about 5 p.m. California time today, we're going to have open our book a call or actual sign up opportunity over at stockhack.com for actual financial advice. So you can get that free consult In other words, like, hey, is the service right for you phone call? Or if you like the new video and the paperwork and documentation that's available, you could sign up directly. So stay tuned for that around 5 o'clock today, stockhack.com.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.